Welcome to Sacred Success, the alchemy of spiritual business, where Michelle Barr talks to conscious entrepreneurs and spiritual seekers about creating a better life and a better business now. Building your own business is the most intensive personal and spiritual growth and development course you could ever enroll in. And that's why Michelle does the work she does for you. We're glad you're here with Michelle Barr on the OMTimes Radio Network.
Business success. This is Michelle Barr. I am your Sacred Business Success Coach. I am a business coach, an intuitive business strategist, and mindset mentor. And I'm very excited to have you here today. I've got a lot of great stuff to share with you today. We have been doing a lot of work on mindset and energy, and those are very important. I always talk about doing the energetic work first and about being inspired and then taking inspired action. Well, since January, I have been taking 3 groups of women through a 90-day program that I developed, 90 days to a bigger and better business, to build that business that makes an impact and makes you the money. Before that, for several years, I taught my spiritual business school. It's an 8-week course, and it really lays the foundation. And so I thought that today I really want to share with you not just how to build your spiritual business, but to start with those first 90 days, because I've worked with enough private clients now, and I've worked with enough groups of people to really see and really focus in on what you need those first 90 days and what that looks like. And I also want to show you how possible and how doable that is with what I call the foundational 4, that all you need is a website, preferably a WordPress website, a PayPal account, social media profiles, and some kind of email system like Aweber or MailChimp or Constant Contact might be a few that you're familiar with. I really want to get into some of this with you for those of you who have been trying to get started or imagine it's just too big, I'll put it off till later, I'll wait, or just have started and then stopped. I see all of that when people come to work with me for these first 90 days. And so since January, I have taken 3 groups of women through 90-day cycles, and they're getting in business. They're being in business now. They're getting results, and they are learning systems and processes and how to build a container that they can then pour their creativity, pour their spirituality, pour their work, and pour themselves into. And that's what I learned how to do. I am a spontaneous person. I am not a routine person at all, not a structure and system and process person, but I am a systemic thinker, and that's what makes me a great strategist and a great coach for business, is seeing all the pieces of what you bring to the table. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today with building your business in those first 90 days. It's about this kind of business is about bringing everything you have and everything you are to the table and starting there. And your business grows organically as you grow and evolve and as other people actually interact. And I tell people all the time, if you've been floating ideas out there, if you've been giving it away for free, you do not have accurate feedback. Accurate feedback does not happen until money is exchanged, until the people show up that are willing and that actually buy what you're offering and what you're inviting them into, and money and energy are exchanged. So it benefits you to get in business immediately. And that's what my work and my programs are all about, getting into business and being in business immediately. It's the only way to learn. It's the only way to grow. And it's the way your business will grow. You'll get feedback as soon as you start doing that. I found out early on, the truth is you can't change the world if you're broke. I know, I tried. And you've probably discovered this by now too. And that's why you showed up here. You show up in my world. You show up in my community. I see people like you every day, people with a life's calling that are gifted and motivated and driven by something greater than themselves, with a big vision and on a mission to get that out into the world. And I see every day what you have to offer. And I know how much people need you doing what you are made to do. That's why I want to share with you how you turn your life's calling into a profitable, freedom-based business, and how you do that best by showing up in every moment with who you are and what you have to offer. This is where I am, this is who I am, and this is what I have now. And you bring that into the world, and you live your life, and you share that journey. And that is what has brought me success. I have something in my throat here for a second. Excuse me. So first, what I want to do is I want to tell you a story. This is a true story. I want to share this with you because I really want you to get this. I need to make money, but I don't want very much, just enough to pay my bills. I hear that more often than you might imagine. I was talking with a potential client, and the first thing she said to me was, I really need your help. The second thing she said to me was this: I need to make money, but I don't want very much, just enough to pay my bills. And I told her the first thing we would do if we worked together is change that statement and deal with what's behind it. If you don't have an interest in that, then I may not be the best coach for you right now. So let me share with you this story. Several years ago, quite a few now, before I started my own business and was still serving in more traditional roles, I was involved in a local church in my community. My children were young and involved in youth group and activities, and we did this as a family. I have always loved the community and fellowship that a church provides, and I was trying to stay and be a part of this. But it was very hard. I was finding it very difficult. I didn't know then where I was moving. I was just feeling that internal struggle, and it was becoming harder. This church has been in my community since the 1800s, and yet it is still small. The building is old, much in need of repair all over the place, and always struggling for members. Meanwhile, we have many other churches that have sprung up all around it. We're in Texas. We have a church on every corner. Lots of churches with new buildings and lots of members growing and expanding their ministries and offering great programs and services to their congregations. I became a leader in my church, and so did my husband, and we ended up doing a lot of work in many capacities. And here is what I saw. This church had a belief. Its members adopted the belief, and so it had to be. Whatever you say is, is. The church lived according to this belief, and so did its members. This is a belief I used to have for many years, and so I was a match to it. That's how I ended up there. But I no longer wanted to live like that. And so this church and this experience provided a great mirror and great lessons for me in my growth and evolution. So much so that when I left this church, I went out into the community and started my first business on my own. The people in this church, they were like all the other people in my community. You had wealthy people by whatever standards. You had people who were struggling. You had people that were very middle class. You had doctors. You had lawyers. You had social workers. You had construction workers. You had teachers. You had lay people and clergy. The people in this church lived in such poverty consciousness and lack and scarcity thinking that they could not hear me. I was teaching then classes for free through the church, and I was leading worship and creating programs, and the people here could not hear what I was saying at all, and they didn't show up. I kept getting the message from Spirit to turn away from this church and go out into the community where there would be people waiting who could hear what I had to say and who would show up. And so it was. Wow, was it ever? This church lived by a very common belief that God will provide. It had gotten into a habit with this belief that did not serve them, but that a lot of people I come across have chosen to live by as a testament to their faith. I want you to really think about this. This church and its people believe that God will provide just what you need when you need it. And I have more to say on this, so stay with me. I can't wait to tell you the rest of the story and then move forward into creating my own spiritual business and your own spiritual business. I'll be right back.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Hi, my name is Monica and I'm the host of Co-Creating Now. Give yourself an opportunity to connect with your all-knowing higher self and manifest joy, love and peace together every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Do you want to be a better communicator? Do you want to better connect with the important people in your life? Do you want to enrich your relationships? If so, join me, Matthew Cooper, on the Positive Control System Show every Wednesday evening at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OMTimes Radio. I'll meet you there.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello, welcome back. This is Michelle Barr with Sacred Business Success, and today we are talking about how to build your spiritual business the first 90 days. And I was talking about a story about right before I started building my business and the situation I was in, what I was surrounded by, the people I was hanging out with, the community I was in trying to do my work, serving in this church. The people in this church lived in such poverty consciousness and lack and scarcity thinking The church lived by a very common belief that God will provide. It had gotten into a habit with this belief that did not serve them, but that a lot of people I come across have chosen to live by as a testament to their faith. This church and its people believed that God will provide just what you need when you need it, and most often at the very last minute, because they had become addicted to the cycle that created, which delivered relief at the end of it. And they were using that cycle to strengthen their faith over and over and over again. Not only were they living like this in the church, but they also were living like this in their lives. It's one of the reasons that I was a match to that in my earlier years, and partly because of what I experienced growing up in family system, was there was crisis and there was relief, and it had to get really bad, then the relief would come, and the relief always came. And I found that I was addicted to that relief to the point that I kept creating that. Same for this church, and they were using it to strengthen their faith. In my short time there, I witnessed much struggle, many marriages that were dissolving, children acting out, and crisis from lack of jobs, lack of money, and lack of resources. Still, they continued to tell this story. God will provide just what we need when we need it. And watch, it will come in right before the bad thing happens. And so they would pray, God, we don't want to be greedy. Just send us what we need right now to take care of this one thing. We believe you will. Are you seeing this? They never dared to ask for more or enough, but they dreamed big. They dreamed about a big new church building. They dreamed about beautiful things. They dreamed about bringing in people and serving the community. They came from this beautiful place from their heart. And that's where we come when we are going to serve. And yet, they kept saying what was something that didn't serve them. This church continues to struggle. The head organization has thought about shutting it down many times. They keep sending new ministers in to try to fix it. And it could happen very soon that it closes the doors. I went back into this church to visit when my daughter was being honored as a high school graduate. And what I saw was less people than ever sitting in those pews. Things were falling down around them throughout the building. They had cut back to one service again. And the people sitting there listening to the sermon yet again about the storms of life and the troubles of living in this world looked tired and ill. Thoughts become things, and what we focus on shows up, and what we say is. I made a choice to leave that situation and that community, and I made a decision to never live like that again. I now believe that Spirit wants for us what we want for ourselves. I now believe that we live in an infinite and abundant universe. And so my life must reflect this. What do you want for yourself? I believe that where there is desire, a way has been made. Think about us. More than anyone else, we talk about our belief in an infinite and abundant universe. Is your life reflecting this? I don't want very much, just enough to pay my bills, will keep you in a cycle of struggle that will keep you from living your divine expression in this human experience. And it will keep you from being able to go out into the world with who you are and what you have to offer. The potential client got afraid again, and she said later, I will definitely do this with you later. But you see, she had talked with me a year ago too, and she is still waiting for later to come. Whatever you say is. This journey means that you are ready to confront the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You are ready for more right now, to create a better life now and to create a better business now. That is what I experienced. Think about that. Look at that in your own life. I challenge you. My coach's request to you, I urge and encourage you to really let this land and really think about this, because I saw a lot of parallels. I know that's why I was placed there. I didn't even catch all of it until I went back to visit when my daughter was being honored as a high school graduate, and then it hit me and I saw it, because you know what? Now I was no longer a match to it, and now I live so differently. Those people might have always looked like that, but suddenly they looked so tired and ill and pale and blank-faced to me. I could not believe they were still there. The place looked like it was falling down around them. So let's look at, what does this really take? I want you to get that it's a step-by-step process, and it grows and evolves with you. What I have today is magnificent. It's what I want in my life. When I left that little church and went out into the community to do my work, I didn't know then that this even existed, so I couldn't have asked for it. I didn't even dare dream of a six-figure income or a big business. I had never made $50,000 in my life. I had always worked in nonprofits. I had always worked in ministry. I had always given away what I had. Now I'm able to give away more than I ever have, because I come from a full well instead of an empty well. When I was trying to serve that church, when I first went out in the community to build my business, I came from an empty well. You ask for what you want and need. You start by asking for what you truly need, and you don't apologize for it. You don't have shame around it. You tell the universe what you want, and then you tell the universe what you need. And if they've done that before and you haven't gotten it, here's why. You have to take the first step, and you have to keep stepping. You have to engage energetically, and you have to engage physically on this plane. If you want a standoff, if you've ever been in one, I used to get in standoffs with God and the universe, is when you sit with your arms crossed, tapping your foot, and you say, here's everything I need. I'll do what you're asking. I hear the call. I'll do what you're asking as soon as you send me all these things. Guess what happened? When I stepped out anyway, when I had to leave that church and those people, or I was going to end up just like them, everything I wanted and needed came to me and continues to. My life gets more and more blessed. And the bigger I step out and the more I be me and do me, the more blessings come into my life now. When you're just starting out, you can start the business with the 4 foundational things. WordPress website. If you don't have a WordPress website and you don't know how to do a website, I tell people start with what you have, but know that you're going to move to a WordPress website. So use what you have, a PayPal system, a PayPal account. social media profiles, and then pick one that you're really going to use. Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If your business lends itself to it, Instagram or Pinterest, be on all of them, but pick one that you really work on. For me, it's Facebook. I run almost my entire business now through Facebook. It is a fabulous marketing tool if you know how to use it. The strategies are there. You just have to know how to use it. I get almost all my clients through Facebook. I get even local clients through Facebook. It's what took me global, where I got my first global clients. And then you need an email system. You cannot be sending out. I still have clients come to me. Yeah, I have email addresses and I send them out. They only let me send out 25 at a time. One, you are spending way too much time. And two, you're going to get shut down for spam. And even the bigger no-no is when people don't blind copy. I get emails from people trying to start their business. Nothing will shut you down faster than sending your entire list out to everybody else. Big no-no. With just those 4 things, you can start your business. Then there are 2 systems that I found over time that built the whole foundation. And you want to take the time to build the foundation, because the foundation I built has continued to serve me. I've never had to rebuild it. I always know what to do when I need clients. When I'm full of clients, I pull back on it, but I don't ever have to recreate it. I always know what to do. And it brings clients to me. We are messengers. We are spiritual teachers. We are called to be leaders. We come into this work because we have a message, because we have gifts. So the good news, the great news is you make money in this business. You get new clients by sharing valuable content. So you want a system for doing that. And you want to create this well-oiled machine. And I'm going to go into that more as soon as we get back. Stay with me and be taking notes. I'll be right back.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hey ladies, do you want to have that good hair day feeling all the time? Gentlemen, would you want your special someone to have that glow, letting you know she's feeling completely satisfied? This feeling and that glow can be yours by embracing your sexual power. So join me, Rachel Kenley, award-winning romance author, on the O-Spot. The O-Spot will guide you to that peak with guest interviews, book discussions, and conversations on the thrills of sexual empowerment. Put the zing back in your life. Come up and see me sometime on the O-Spot, live on Hump Day at 10 p.m. Eastern.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness in action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
All I'm glad you're back. We are talking about how to build your spiritual business the first 90 days. And it starts with creating the vision and laying the foundation. My whole premise and what I've done in my life is built on create a vision of the life you want to live. Then create a business that supports and sustains that life. And I've been doing that now for enough years that I know it's possible and it works. And it's the only way that I want to do it. My life has had a lot of changes since I started building my business. And I'm able to always build and grow my business to fit the life I want to live. One of the reasons I was so set on that is one of my big pains and something in my earlier life was working jobs where people didn't love their job. They didn't love what they were doing. They didn't love who they were working with, and they had all these other things they wanted to be doing. So they would do those on the side. They would give their work away, especially people with spiritual gifts. And it would take such a toll on them, such a toll on them. Then look at the whole way our society is set up. Work until you can't work anymore. Work so hard until the day that you will never have to do that again and never have to be there again. I look at my life and my work that I'll be doing it forever because I love it. The kind of life and business you're not just waiting to take a vacation from. I've built travel into my business because I love it, and my business supports my travel. I've built attending events and conferences and being with people all over the world because I love that. So create that vision. And the tool that I always teach you is take 30 days and spend 5 minutes a day in that vision so you can get really clear on it. Then we start with this foundation, what I call the well-oiled machine, because I came across a concept about I wasn't salesy. I wasn't a salesperson. I didn't like it. I felt pushy. I felt salesy. I'd been a helper and healer all my life. Now I understand marketing better and selling from the spiritual perspective, and I'm going to do a show on that. I've had to change my mindset, but I also knew that there was another way, and I heard the concept of being pursued rather than pursuing, and I said, that is the model for me. So I put valuable content out into the world in a strategic way so that people ask to get on the phone with me. I'm not networking. I'm not making sales calls. People ask to get on the phone with me because I've put it out there. I've invited and I'd offered. And by the time they do, they've consumed my content. So a lot of times they're saying, I listened to your teleclass. I read your blog. I saw your video. I listened to your radio show, all those things. So again, people go out and they start, I got to have a blog. I have to have a newsletter. I have to have an email. They don't understand how it all works together. So they're disjointed. So they're doing pieces and then they're looking and they're going, I didn't get a result. That must not be right. Consistency is more important than quantity, especially in the beginning. You're doing 3 things at once, pieces of this every day, every week, and every month in your business. You are building this foundation to bring potential clients and clients to you, to bring income. Building a foundation, building a platform, and building a tribe that you can serve. So once you build a foundation, building a platform fits really well for us too, because that is all about imagine then you're standing on a solid platform. I am Michelle Barr. I'm a business coach. I'm an intuitive strategist and a mindset mentor. I serve conscious entrepreneurs to turn their life's calling from an expensive hobby into a profitable, freedom-based business. So I build that whole foundation and I'm very clear about it and I get out there. Then I have all these arms off that. I have a book coming out next month. I have products. I have programs. I have services. I'm giving a keynote in Miami in a couple of weeks. I speak. I teach. I can start all kinds of things, live events, retreats, VIP days. I can start all these different arms, just like I started the 90-day group program, because I had that foundation. You will use newsletter, blog posts, and other ways to get your valuable content out into the world. There are things you can be doing every day, every week, and every month. And in the beginning, those first 90 days, you don't have to know everything you're doing. This is really important because first, when I had a local business, I said, I'm a healer. What I do works for everyone. I'd been a mental health therapist. Even though I had specialties, what I did could work for everyone. And we do that. We try to sell a modality. We try to sell a label, and it never works. That's the people who end up selling themselves for $1 a minute and never get past that. You want to move yourself out of the dollars per minute and dollars per hour model. You are providing a transformation. So in those first 90 days, you want to really be playing with that. And don't get stuck. You step out because you'll get feedback. When I first stepped out, I saw who came to me and who I helped, and I said, I love that. I told the universe, send me more of her. I love that. I'm really good at that. I got 3 of that this week. Then I don't like that. I don't want to deal with that, or I'm not good at that. They are better served somewhere else. And you start building that, and you see now my brand is totally different several years down the line, but that's because I grew and evolved. I actually made something work that people have a very strong belief can't be done and doesn't work. I made money in a totally personal and spiritual growth and development business. Then I started getting hired by people to teach them how to do that. And my business went to 50-50 of each, and then to 90% business clients. I still get some clients that are not looking to build businesses, but you see, I pulled all that with me because when I work with my business clients, I do personal and spiritual growth and development work. I say that building your business is the most intensive personal and spiritual growth and development course you could ever enroll in. So I brought all that with me. I just changed who I serve. I love helping people build and grow their business, stepping into their gifts, because what I realized was I could only serve a certain number of people one by one. But when I started touching the people who are called to serve the people, if I can get 1,000 people in the marketplace serving 1,000 people, do the math. Tons of people get served. And I found that was my gift and my calling. And I grew into that because I didn't know I was a really good business strategist, and that being intuitive would support me in being a strategist, because I had never known business strategy or learned it. It's why I had a very expensive hobby, and this is another thing, and it's my soapbox, so you all will hear it a lot. The first thing I did after I had to close the doors on that expensive hobby was I hired my first business coach. Again, I didn't know where that would lead me. I have not been without a business coach since 2009, and I wouldn't be. And I wouldn't hire a coach who doesn't have a coach. And I up-level my coaching every year, and every time I do, my business up-levels and grows and grows. For me, breaking that $50,000 mark was the most challenging and the most difficult mindset and physically doing it. Then I crossed the 6-figure line. Now I have new goals and new dreams. And so really showing you, a lot of helpers and healers are not used to making big money. They don't know how, or they feel guilty or ashamed, or other people shame them. If you want to read a story about that, there was a big thing going on in the community for a while. If you go to climoutofthecrabbucket.com, climb out of the crabbucket.com, you will see a story I wrote about this, and I did a whole summer on shameless spiritual business building. So if that's one of your issues, there's a free call on my website and all of that to really cut through that right away, because it's a big one. It was for me too. I ended up hiring a personal coach for 6 months to help me get over my money and spirituality stuff. So you're creating your brand. The other thing is the universe does its part. And I love when my clients see this, because one of the things I was finding was I kept thinking the universe doesn't support me. God isn't supporting me. You called me. I stepped out. I'm doing this thing. And now you're not supporting me. And I see that a lot. And then if you tell that story, then that story is going to be true. The universe does its part. But the universe, spirit, God brings you money through people. So you have to open channels so you can receive money and clients. So one of the first things I do with my clients is I look, is their foundation in place? Do you have PayPal buttons? Do you know what you're going to sell? Do you know how much it costs? The biggest thing you want to do right away, because the universe does its part, you want to always be prepared. And this really happens. Say you're somewhere, you're not even at a business networking thing, you're not planning on that. You get in a conversation with somebody standing in a line or sitting next to you, you tell them what you do, and they want it. And the worst mistake I've seen clients make is this. Yeah, I'm creating a program. I don't know what it's going to cost yet, but here, go to my website or get in touch with me, or I'll get in touch with you when I have something. You always want to have something, because they've been praying, they've been asking, and you're showing up as an answer. And you've been praying and you've been asking, and they are showing up as an answer. So opening the channels, I start showing clients how to get those channels open. I now can make money while I sleep. The first time that happened, it was amazing. And I went away in March on a big trip to Africa as part of a give back, the Give Movement journey. While I was gone, I will tell you more about that in just a second. I'll be right back.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
Imagine magnificence. Do you live to your unlimited potential? Join me, Margaret Ann Lembo. Awaken your consciousness. Listen to Money Magnet Moment, Gem Spot Affirmations, Essential Aromatics, and Looking Skyward Astrocast, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello, welcome back. I got so excited there. I was right in the middle of a story. Just telling you that because I had set all this up, I was gone for 2 weeks the beginning of March doing something that my business allowed me to do. And yet I got clients. I made money while I was traveling, while I was gone, while I was out of touch, because I'd laid this foundation and opened the channels. Then when I got back, I got to share about that, and it brought me new clients and new income. This is what it's all about, being more you, living your life and sharing your life and sharing that journey. And that's how you create the brand. I see people stuck for way too long. What is my niche? What is my domain name? What is my brand? I don't know who I'm serving. I get you in action so you will find out and know. It's an organic growth. You will not know just sitting still. You have to lead with something. And so you work on that. That's why you have a coach and you get out there and you see how to have a big enough why. It's so important to have a big enough why. And your why cannot be to make money, to pay my bills, and your why cannot even be to help people. I'm here to serve people. That was mine for a lot of years, but it kept me sick and broke, and it kept my family without what they needed. And I learned some days that gets me going enough. And it is the underlying motivator. I have always known I'm a helper and a healer, but there are days when it is challenging and that won't be enough to keep you going. You have to want things for yourself too. And again, the more I dreamed for myself and my family, the more my clients got and the more I was able to serve them. The more people showed up, the more people I was able to help because I opened myself up to an infinite and abundant universe. Imagine when you're sitting there limiting your money, then you're limiting your clients, and then you're wondering where the infinite abundant universe is. So you build this client path, you lay this foundation. You're building the foundation, you're building the platform, and you're building the tribe. And that's an important part, is to start getting those people to connect with you. And building your tribe means actually getting email addresses and getting people onto a list because they've raised their hand so that they can come into your world and you can consistently communicate with them. People still buy the most when they are invited and made offers to through email. I made this mistake early on too. Well, people will just come to my website. Well, people are busy. Even if they mean to, they won't. They don't always remember, or they'll put it off till later until you show up in their email box with exactly what they are looking for in that moment, and you get to be an answer to what they're asking for. It's so important. Getting yourself centered, grounded, focused, and clear. And in those early days, you're going to be doing things outside your comfort zone. They're not convenient. They're not always logical. They're certainly not comfortable. And some of them will spin your head, whether it's technology or talking to people about what you do, or even getting out and going to a networking or speaking in front of a group, whatever that is. So you want to take care of yourself, have that self-care, and learn that energy management. Recognize from day one you are building your business to fit your life and not the other way around. In those early days, did I work more hours? Did I get tired? Yes. And sometimes I still do, but I insist that my life be the way I want it and that I feel good. I've talked about moving out of the dollars per hour model. Instead, learning to package the transformation that you offer, that you provide. Here's the power in that. Imagine when you say, I have this thing I do, I have this modality, or I do this thing, or I'm a healer, or I'm an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, an essential oils, whatever you are. Coach, counselor, all of those things. And you say, For 1 hour, it'll be $60, and you can buy, and then this is the problem with that people make is then they say, oh, package it. Okay, so you could buy 3 hours, and then they discount that. Instead, if you say, I help you do this thing, here's the transformation I provide, here's the benefit, and here's the price for the entire transformation. And it is authentic, because once I refused to serve people through just individual sessions for dollars anymore, I packaged my first package and put it out there. I served people in a much higher and better way. I showed up at the table with all of who I was, everything I had, and I served them long enough for them to get benefit. So as helpers and healers, it really works better for us. As conscious entrepreneurs, whatever we're doing, really getting out there and laying this foundation and getting one central message. Here's the other thing. I get people and they go, okay, I'll blog. And what do I talk about? And then they're talking about everything under the sun, and nobody can latch on. Nobody can latch on to that one thing and hear that one thing. I have a million things that I love to talk about, that I have opinions on, that I could write about. In the beginning, you want to pick, again, a platform and get out there that first 90 days in a concentrated way. So I teach people how to take that one solid piece of content and you repurpose it in all these different ways, at least 7 to 9 times, so you can push it out into the world and people can hear you and latch on to that. Then from there, once you have a solid platform, now my point of view is so clear that I can talk about anything and I can tie it back to my central message. Even when I switch from the personal and spiritual growth and development to business, I'm not saying anything different. I still have my 9 universal guiding principles. I still have my MOVE formula for taking inspired action. Those are the kind of things you start putting together. Then you learn how to talk about what you do, and you talk to people about it, and you do not give your services away for free to try to show people how good it is so they'll buy it. You are not a used car and letting people kick your tires. And the people that will keep coming back for free, oh, I just need a little more, and I'm thinking about it, I'm getting the money together. Believe me, I did this for way too long. They are never the people that will pay. And there are people ready and willing to step up and pay when you say who you are and you bring that value to the table. So stop giving yourself away for free. Here's one I'll give you that you can do right now. If you're not already charging for your services, or if you're going to raise your prices, or if you're going to do something new. Pick a number between 1 and 10. Pick a number between 5 and 10. Once you have that number, that is how many sessions of whatever this is you're going to give away for free, a number between 5 and 10. And that's it. That's your agreement with yourself, your agreement with the universe, your agreement with your business. And you're not giving away for free. There will be an energy exchange, because those people are going to give you feedback and a testimonial. Then you have feedback and testimonials to go out from there. You only do that many, and then you never do it again. A complimentary consultation, you do show up as who you are and in your gifts. I show up as a coach. I do real coaching. I help you work through your objections. I help you see the possibilities. We explore it, and I give you a nugget of value to take away, whether you decide to work with me or not. But I'm not putting on a show and trying to get you to like me, and I'm not giving myself away for free. There's plenty of my free content out there to consume. And I'm able to do that because I have plenty of people who pay me. Are you starting to see here? There's a lot of mindset work in order to make it happen. There's also a lot of marketing to make it work. And there are times when I had the marketing, the strategies, and I didn't have the mindset to pull it off. And there were times I worked on the mindset and I didn't know the strategies. So it's working on both of those. You'll start getting clear. You'll pull together a system. A lot of us, we do work that we just do it. We just know how to do it. We don't know how to explain it. I got a big aha when one of my friends and colleagues said, if I were going to pay you a bunch of money right now, could you teach me what you do? And it made me really think. And then it made me learn how to teach her what I do. And it makes my work so much more solid and tangible and marketable. And I could turn around someday and teach other people and use that. You will start having your system come together and your ideal tribe. You'll discover the tools that you're already using to do what you do. And then you will continue to get better and better. All this is going on in the first 90 days. You're putting all the pieces together. But the more you engage and the more you just show up and do it as you go, it becomes a real thing with form and substance. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And we are going to talk more about this in the coming weeks. Sacred Business Success with Michelle Barr on OMTimes Radio Network. Thank you so much.